Joining me today is David Brooks, who writes for the Concord Monitor. He's known as the Granite Geek. So, David, we can find you at the granitegeek.org blog. Is that?
And on the Monitor as well, and around Twitter and Facebook and all the usual.
So as a geek, you're everywhere in the net.
Not by truly geek standards, but yeah, I'm around.
You're making fun of technology by using the word geek in this. And how did you come up with that name other than the wonderful alliteration?
Alliteration, obviously. So quick background, I got my bachelor's degree in mathematics from a small liberal arts college, rather like this one. And there's not much you can do with a bachelor's degree in mathematics without going on to higher degrees, which was not in the cards for me. So I ended up in journalism sort of by accident. And so I've been a newspaper reporter with a science and technology bent for 35 years. Been at the Monitor for about a year and a bit. And so as part of that, because the beat was technology, you sort of wanted to establish it. I started writing a column. You had to call it something. I originally called it Science from the Sidelines to show that it's fun to watch science just like it's fun to watch football. But we changed it to Granite Geek just because it sounded good and it had a little more technology bent, and particularly as the web came along and people got more interested in technology.
So what were the first stories that you wrote about when you first started covering technology and science?
As I said, I really think it was the web. When the web came along in 1993, 94, 95, that's really what brought, the stuff that had previously been the domain of, the hackers and the kids sitting in their rooms in front of their computers, brought it in front of everyday readers of newspapers. And so that's really what started me. I had the first email address when I was working for the Nashua Telegraph. We had one of those dial-up modems in the newsroom, and every hour or so it'd go beep, 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 boop, boop, and everybody would look around and wonder what was going on. And so, and that is what readers really started to be interested in.
And so over the years, you must have covered a number of interesting sort of things. How did the articles how do you shape your articles?
How do I shape me? You mean how do I choose what to write about? I'm not a tech writer. I'm not like a specialized tech writer.
Right. I mean, it's just, the range of things that you talk about, or gypsy moths, the botnet, there's a wide range of science that you talk about. How do you shape sort of your thought process?
It's, to be perfectly honest, it's whatever interests me. I've found happily over the years that as long as I'm intrigued by something enough to want to write about it, to want to spend the time and frequently the pain of hunting down somebody who can explain it to me, then more often than not, it will be of interest to enough readers that they will want to see it too. If I don't have an algorithm, I don't say, I need to do X number of stories about environment.
So it's not a geeky sort of solution.
It is not geeky. No, it is very much. It is from the gut, not from the brain. Absolutely. So.
And over the years, have you find the reporting and the interest in the markets pushed you in one direction or the other?
Because I was with Nashua newspaper for a long time, Nashua in that part of New Hampshire is quite an manufacturing, engineering, and area. So I can talk about Science Cafe as well, which is a project that sort of grew out of the Granite Geek, which was actually started by a couple of other people, science fans, science fans who really wanted to have a chance to get together, sit in a bar, and talk about science topics, and they asked me to help out. And that was started in almost 6 years ago now by Dan Marchek and Sarah Eck. And we started that in Concord and went down to Nashua and have expanded, so it's now in Nashua and Concord every month. In fact, we'll have one next week in Concord. So, but one of the things we found in Nashua is the audience is composed very largely of engineers, retired or active. So down in Nashua, it was hardware-related technology and a fair amount of software as well.
And in Concord, is it just environmental? Is it policy?
Well, I don't write about policy or politics if I can possibly avoid it. Concord does not have a real science and tech personality. So, for example, the Seacoast biotech is much more there. engineering down in Nashua, in Concord. So it's a little bit of everything. Environmental is probably of more interest up here as well. But there's a lot of really interesting technology involved in environmental issues.
Okay, well, we're out of time in this segment.
Okay.
But when we return, we're going to get him to talk about something he doesn't want to: politics and technology.
No, not
so
that.
Please stay with us.